We are actually starting. I think. Yes. Okay. Ready? Okay. Good evening, everyone. I am Yamika Robinson, Mayor of City of Lake City. I am calling this meeting to order the special call council meeting on Tuesday, September 30th, 2025, at 5:30 p.m. This is the public hearing on the City of Lake City budget fiscal year 2025-2026. First, we are going to have our public comment period during this section, since this is a public hearing portion of it, and comments are limited to 2 minutes per person, and no personal or verbal attacks will be entertained. The mayor and council is interested in hearing your concerns, but speakers should not expect mayor or council action on deliberation on subject matters brought up during the public comment period. Topics requiring further investigation will be referred to the city administration and may be scheduled for a future agenda. Please make sure to sign in and leave your name and address for the record with the city clerk to council. Before anyone comes up for a public comment period, I'm going to ask Mr. Thompson if there's anything that he would like to present to the public before they come up with any comments that they may have.
Thank you, Mayor. I certainly can. Thank you. Mr. Jones, you ready? That's not it. Okay, why don't we start? This is the budget for this next fiscal year, 25-26. Most people refer to it as FY26. In our case, we have had several different shots at this. Okay, let's see. There we go. All right. Several different shots at it. There's been a draft that we've been working on for the last couple of months, but this is what would be considered the regular budget. This is based on revenues and expenses and all of that. I'm going to walk you through a brief presentation of what's included in the budget. You've heard some of it, but let's get it all out there. The budget's balanced. That's an important part, because at least recently, the budget here has not been balanced based on actual data. So I will say that this budget is balanced. It's an expensive fix to an expensive problem. The city has had some real issues. We'll talk about those just briefly. But one was commingling of general fund and utility funds. Those really need to be separated. And the primary reason they have to be separated is because utility funds are weather dependent. You get a hot summer or a cold winter, and the utility funds can be much too little or much too much. So you don't commingle them. General fund revenues, on the other hand, and general fund expenses are pretty stable. You know, those are the types of things you pay for with your property taxes. That includes police and fire and all that. But again, they're mostly stable. But the utility funds are, in a real sense, the enterprise funds of the city. That's where the profit is made, and that is used to subsidize the general fund and keeps the tax rates low. So there's been a lot of commingling, and that was a problem. First, we had to start, and we had professional assistance, but we had to start by separating the two out. How much had been overspent in each of the two different funds, and how did this fund issue work? I will tell you, when I talk about how it's an expensive problem, and I'm going to walk us through, any solution is going to be expensive. It's not that any of us like the budget. We don't like this budget, but I will tell you it's absolutely necessary, and we'll get through that. It is going to require raising rates, and it's going to require reducing expenses, both. So as a taxpayer, I always look at, well, as the city reduce rates expenses as much as possible to control the rise in rates. And I'll say in this case, yes, we have. But that'll be for you and for city council to judge. Again, it's a balanced budget. The separate funds, the two different funds have to remain separated. The key for Lake City has been that the fund balance has to be monitored. If you don't separate the funds, I know this is going to get into more detail than you're going to want, but if you don't separate the funds and you spend, as in this case, you spend all your general funds and you start spending into the enterprise funds, the utility funds, then pretty soon you don't know how much reserves you have. And that's what happened here. We had to calculate what those reserves are, but you have to monitor the fund balance. So City Council on a monthly basis will receive a monthly update, financial update on how the city's going, and they should expect comments about the fund balance. Here's how we're doing, here's what's left, here's where we're going, and that'll be built into the future oversight for council. We have, with this budget, this is the third reduction in staff over the past 6 months. City Council reduced the employees by a total of 13 in May, added another 8 in July, and here we're adding another, it's 7 with this final budget. So we've really cut a total of 28 employees from the budget. The rates, we're not raising rates. It's a fine point that most of us wouldn't see, but there's no rate adjustment in here to raise rates. What it is instead, it's a structural adjustment. In the past, when you paid your monthly amount for your water and sewer bill, you received 2,500 cubic feet or gallons in addition with that payment. We've eliminated that. So for every gallon essentially that's used, we'll pay for it. So that's what the difference is. It's a structural change rather than a rate change. The rate changes may come later, but that'll be something City Council will evaluate and decide and go forward. But it's a structural change. But I would finally just say there's no magic fix here. We needed revenues, we need to cut expenses, and this does both of those. It's not like I said, it's not an enjoyable budget. I enjoy budgeting, but this is one of those where you just go, it's going to be expensive and we're going to adjust to it and we're going to move it forward. And so that's where we are, but there's no magic fix. In total, the general fund revenues are about $10 million. $10,078,000. Expenditures for this new budget are $9.6 million. We expect to transfer to the fund balance, that's putting your money in savings, about $477,000. Let me give you the practical aspect of how the savings works. When the city's accountants go to pay bills every month or to pay payroll, they have to have money in reserve, have to have savings. If they don't have savings, then they can't do it because you're automatically going to be digging below the level of what you can fund. So you have to have savings, and so we're budgeting for savings. Now, I've told council that ideally with this system, as expensive as it is, it doesn't have to stay this way forever. Council can choose to increase the structure and increase the revenues now, and 2 years from now, when things are good again, can adjust downward. It's not a fixed piece, but it's an emergency right now, and so the emergency is the revenues have to be raised. Utility budget, the revenues are $6.6 million and expenditures about $5.9 million. The budget overall maintains stability and it allows the essential services of the city to continue. We cut the total employees by a total of 21. When we talk about the 28 that we did before, that changes over time and each month really would change, but you're seeing a fundamental reduction of 21 employees from the city, and you see the fund difference there. General fund is losing 15 employees. Utilities are losing 6 for a total of 21, and we can give you a departmental breakdown on that as well. And that's really it. I mean, I can go on for hours, but I can stop with that unless you have questions or I can assist.
Okay, thank you, Mr. Thompson.
Thank you.
For your budget overview and presentation. At this moment, once again, public comment period. Anyone that would like to come up for 2 minutes to speak. Remember, no personal or verbal attacks will be entertained. The mayor and council is interested in hearing your concerns, but speakers should not expect mayor or council action on deliberation on subject matters brought up during this period. This is the only time tonight that we will have a public comment period. We will be going into our next portion after this public hearing, but there's no public comment period during that time. So if you want to speak and say something during this portion of it, this is the time. And just come up to the podium, sign your name, and state your name.
My name is LaToya Miller. I have proudly served as the administrative assistant with the City of Lake City for the past 5 years. In this role, I am often the first point of contact for visitors and citizens, setting a professional tone for the organization. I play a vital role in ensuring daily operations run smoothly by managing schedules, correspondence, and records, and by making sure information reaches the right people quickly and effectively. During my time with the city, I have completed all requirements for the South Carolina Municipal Clerks and Treasurers Institute and currently serve on the Municipal Association of South Carolina Capstone Committee. I have stepped up countless of times when the city was out of clerk and needed assistance, successfully managing numerous boards, such as zoning appeals, architectural review, planning, zoning, regular and special call council meetings. These responsibilities highlight the importance of maintaining strong backup support for key administrative roles. I also oversee all Freedom of Information Act requests for the city. In 2025 alone, I have received and fulfilled over 72 requests. South Carolina law requires public bodies to respond within 10 business days. A proposed House Bill 6 may reduce that time frame to 5 days. I have consistently met these obligations, ensuring compliance and protecting the city from legal risks, as failure to respond can lead to lawsuits, court orders, and financial penalties. In addition, I coordinate all special duty, parade, theater park, shuttle bus, and Village Green requests, as well as LC 278 rentals. Just this past weekend, I was on site at 8 a.m. Saturday to assist a renter. One example of my commitment to serving the city as its citizens beyond standard hours. Mayor and council, I respectfully ask you reconsider eliminating my position from the budget. I have demonstrated my value to the city of Lake City time and time again, and I remain dedicated to this community. As a single mother raising 2 daughters without nearby family support, this role is not only my livelihood, but also my way of giving back. My hope is to continue serving the city and retire here as I had always planned. Thank you for your time and consideration.
Thank you.
Good evening, Mayor and Council.
Good evening.
My name is Brittany Webb, and I'm the HR Payroll Manager, and I'm speaking behalf on the employees who did not attend tonight. We have multiple questions as I and the other employees that are potentially being laid off. 1, who will perform HR duties in my absence? 2, I make $3,500 per month before taxes. Why would the city choose to pay an independent contractor potentially $10,560 per month to process payroll, which is only half of my job duties? The city's administrative assistant makes $3,200 before taxes. No one else employed by the city is qualified or trained to fulfill Freedom of Information Act requests. The city's only option would be to have the city attorney fulfill these requests as his higher contracted rate. Our code enforcement brings around $150,000 revenue per year. By eliminating this position from the budget, even if the position is transferred to another employee in the department, they would not be able to give it the time and resources needed to keep up with the revenue this city desperately needs. This leads us to yet needing another independent contractor. How would council justify potentially losing this revenue? The water department also has some misinformation being spread. The meter techs are not currently reading only less than 100 meters. They're reading over 200 manual meters, which are inside and outside of city limits. Has council considered what impacts having a short-staffed water department will have on its citizens? The police department and fire departments are currently already short-staffed. Cutting their staffing down even more will increase response times and create unsafe community for the officers, fire and police, and its citizens. How can the council guarantee with the short staffing the officers, fire and police will be able to serve this community effectively and safely? These are just a few questions that the council should consider before voting to eliminate these 21 positions, which will cause long-lasting detriments to the financial well-being of the citizens, both in the city and the community. Thank you.
Thank you.
Good evening. My name is Paula Morris. Good evening, Mayor and City Council person. I had some other things to say, but listening at the two, I guess we can say former employees now, I don't know. And I want to say to you guys tonight is that I know about a budget, being on school board, and I understand that sometimes you have to cut. But what I want to ask you when I hear the young lady say is there that if her job ends, then you're going to have a contract with an agency. So that's funds you have to use anywhere you go. That's funds you have to use. But then I hear one young lady talk about she's a single parent and she has 2 children. And so some of us may be living from paycheck to paycheck. Some of the employees that you probably are getting rid of probably will be homeless in a month if they don't have enough money, like the fund balance that you were supposed to have, that you don't have, and so they won't have anything to operate off. So I stand here not saying what I come to say, but to plead for these employees. Did y'all think about this? That you may be having some children who don't have a place to stay. Have y'all looked for other ways to help the city, Lake City? Not only will the employees impact their life, but it's going to impact the citizen life. So I plead to you, city council person, mayor, well, you done cut the mayor's salary. So city council person, have you thought about giving up your salary every month to help with the budget? That's the question that I want to ask. Thank you so much.
We can't. We're not supposed to. We're not supposed to. We can't at this moment. It's for just a for public hearing. We can do that, you can do that afterwards.
Good evening, Mayor and City Council. My name is Margaret Robinson. I'm here, and I had something else I wanted to say, but after listening at what the employees had to say, I'm not too familiar with your budget, but I was a supervisor for 25 years, sewing industry. And there were other ways that we did because I had 25 plus girls and cutting department working for me, and I did not want to lay them off. When the time came, I talked to the manager to find other ways. There are other ways that we can go, I feel like we can go around this. Other ways to keep their jobs intact. I understood about the furloughs, so why don't we just continue with the furlough instead of just cutting these people? They have lives just like we do. And if we don't look at the community, let's look at the community. What are we impacting on the community? I understand about the water bill going up because I lived in Wedgefield for 30 years. And for 20 years of that, my water bill was only $22. And the former mayor even said that if we didn't soon raise the water rates, we would be soon in a hole for infrastructure. So please consider these employees. Think about what they're going through. Think about their minds. Let's all come together and fight for the betterment of the city and the citizens. You're not hearing what all the citizens are saying. Maybe a few, but not all of us. So I'm asking in behalf of these employees to please reconsider this budget that you're thinking about tonight. Thank you.
Thank you.
Hi, Mayor and Council.
Good afternoon.
How's everybody?
Hello.
I hope everybody's well. I was just wondering, is there another avenue that could have been taken? I don't know what the budget process was or what you all looked at. But was there a possibility that we take away the health benefits? I believe when I was in the city clerk, the benefits were about $1.5 million. Do we talk about possibly reducing the part where we pay 40% for others and take away that perk? Do we talk about maybe having the employees contribute to part of their health benefits in order for them to stay on board? Is that something that could even be looked at? Can that make up some sort of the disconnect that we have in trying to bring this, this budget together? Is that been offered up to them? It seems like there could be other things. I know hindsight for me, if I could have changed things, I should have came to mayor and council 2 years ago, but I didn't. I carry a heavy weight on my shoulders for these employees. I love every single one of them. There's not a day that doesn't go by that I should have spoke up sooner, but I didn't. It was my job as a city clerk to come to you guys, and I didn't, and I let them down. I let the chief down, I let the other chief down. I carry that weight every single day, and I'm sorry for it. Please reconsider. Please try to find another avenue to keep these employees. I beg of you, there's got to be another way. Thank you.
Any other comments from anyone? Okay, that will end our public hearing on this evening. Now I'll ask for a motion to adjourn. It has been properly moved and second. Any questions, council? If none, all in favor, show of hands. Thank you. We'll adjourn for, looks like 5 minutes, and we will start our 6 p.m. meeting. Good evening, everyone, again. I'm calling this meeting to order. I pledge to build a stronger and more prosperous community by advocating for civil engagement, respecting others and their viewpoints, and finding solutions for the betterment of our city of Lake City, South Carolina. Our invocation will be led by Councilwoman Scott, and our pledge will be led by Mayor Pro Tem Cooper. Can we all please stand?
Let us pray. Heavenly Father, we thank you, dear God, for this day. For we know this is the day the Lord have made, and we shall rejoice and be glad in it. We thank you, dear God, for letting us be able to come here together to make decisions for the city. We pray to Heavenly Father, whatever our mind, our heart, that we all come together. Lord, we may not all agree, Lord, but let us leave here on one accord. Bless each and every one that here this evening. Bless all the citizens, the city of Lake City. In Jesus' name we pray. Amen.
Amen. Pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. Be seated. Thank you, Councilwoman Scott. Thank you, Mayor Pro Tem Cooper. In the absence of our city clerk, I will poll the city council members. Mayor Yamika Robinson, present. Councilman Jason Brown. Councilwoman Nicole Singletary. Present. Councilwoman Sandra Crosby.
Fleming Crosby, present.
Mayor Pro Tem DeWanica Cooper.
Present.
Councilwoman Wilhelmina Scott. Present. And Councilwoman Melissa Askins. Thank you. We do have a quorum for this evening. Now I need a motion to adopt the agenda as printed.
So moved. Second.
It has been properly moved in second. Any questions, council? If none, all in favor, show of hands. Thank you. Next, we will move to our legislative portion of our agenda. Mr. Thompson.
Mayor, this is first reading of an ordinance for the city of Lake City, South Carolina, to levy taxes and establish a municipal budget for the fiscal year beginning July 1, 2025, and ending June 30, 2026, and all other matters related thereto. This is first reading of the ordinance.
I need a motion to approve, actually, this is amended ordinance 2025.003 for first reading.
Move to approve. Second.
It has been properly moved in second. Any questions or discussion, council? I had a few questions here. I know that part of this budget that was presented or being proposed, part of it is our rate schedule. And I'm not sure if everyone has their part on the rate schedule. Wanted to just get some clarification on that. Do you have your?
I don't have my copy, but I'm somewhat familiar with the rate
Well,
schedule.
let me show you here because I'm
Okay.
not sure.
Thank you.
And I'm sorry, we do not have anything to show on the screen, but the first portion said Chapter 2 Administration. There was here that stated that the return check fee and the insufficient funds fee was $45 in the last fiscal year, and the proposed is $50 now. So that's actually an increase, but here on the paperwork that we receive, it says stays the same.
Okay. My understanding is that the city clerk sent out a note to everyone that, talking about the rate schedule and how some of this was incorrect, but they would have it corrected as we go forward. But I don't have that in front of me, but I believe you're right.
Okay. Was it on everything, or was it just a portion that she stated?
That's what we talked about the other night. And she talked about that several times. And the building wasn't accurate.
The what wasn't
The
accurate?
building wasn't accurate.
The building?
Yeah.
the rate schedule
The rate schedule.
for the buildings wasn't accurate. That's correct.
The rate schedule for the building.
Rate schedule for changes to structures and that type of thing.
For the water?
I'm sorry, I'm not sure where I'm talking about the same thing that you are.
So maybe, are you just saying that we see on, from fiscal year 2024 to now, it says that it says right here, 25 and 45. Now, the proposed budget, which we are in now, it says 25, and it says it's also going to 54 return checks, but it says in the notes, stays the same, or is that what you're talking about?
Yes.
So you're just saying that it's still, but it's not the same, it has increased, instead of, okay,
increased.
just the.
It has increased, and I believe you're
Yeah,
correct.
it just said, yeah.
Right, I believe
Just
you're
wanted
correct.
to make sure which one
Right.
is it? Is it staying the same as 45, or is it actually increasing to 50?
I believe you're correct, Mayor. I believe it's increased,
It's increasing?
That's correct.
Okay, so we need that updated
right?
for return check fee for an increase in $5 and the insufficient funds fee, $5.
Thank you.
And is there any way that you can, for the monthly water rates, with the change in that, I know you explained earlier that it would now not be starting at 2,500 gallons. It would be starting at whatever pretty much you use.
Yes,
Can
ma'am.
you actually do a calculation to actually, so the public will understand how it will increase for them?
Certainly we can, and we included it in the work papers you had for the budget session, but I'll be glad to get something out as well on exactly that. And essentially, it starts with those that are using about 2,500 gallons, which is what the present rate gives out. It'll be $10 more for water and $10 more for sewer, if I remember correctly. But we'll get something out.
And another thing that we discussed, notice that your bill has increased more, come to us right then and let us know that something's wrong with your bill, where they could send the guys out, where they could check for leaks or anything, where we could catch it in time. Don't wait a day or two before your bill come out and say, hey, I got a $150 bill, when, you know, it could have been something we could have worked on to find, something like that before then.
That's right. I believe the council talked about find a way to get the message out that we're there to help you if you have leaks. And if you have a leak, let us know, because we do have a leak allowance we can build into the payment and all that. But we just need to know. Sometimes we don't catch it. Sometimes we do. But but we need to know about leaks and make that leak allowance.
Yeah, because, you know, just being transparent with everybody. It wasn't being done right with the previous administration. You know, they finding things now that should have been worked on years ago.
Right.
You know, and then people saying, well, this one getting charged more money than I'm getting charged. It's not fair. And thank God that we had Mr. Thompson and Ms. Verna here working, and Ms. Izard back there working. You know, Ms. Izard had a hard job dealing with certain people that she had to work for. You know, let's just be honest with it. You know, quit sugarcoating it. Be open with the people. People have done come in here, say it in council meeting. Well, I hear this person ain't getting charged this and this person getting charged this. Yes, the fact of the matter, yes, that was true. Yes, I done sit in council meetings before. The water bills go up. You got certain people come downtown, say, hey, my water bill's high. Yes. Next week, their water bill back low. Then, whenever it's time for the changes to be made in the office, if the workers in there getting fussed at and say, well, no, leave it here, well, you got somebody on your hand. We here to do what's right by the citizens. These people up here, we're not here to try to harm anyone. You get what I'm saying? The false narratives, the false, all of that stuff. I'm an honest person, and I'm gonna be straight up with you. You know, things wasn't done right, and we are trying to get things on track. You know, so
And as
with
soon
that
as
being
you-
said,
You get your bill, as soon as you get your bill, come down to City Hall, or the water department, you need to talk to someone and get the name of the person you spoke with. Get all the information in writing that you need to get. Because some people sometimes sit back and just let this thing linger, and it builds up, and it makes it more difficult. So, like Councilmember Brown said, we're here for the community. You elected us to represent you, and to the best of our ability, I personally will do what I can do. And also, Mr. Thompson, in reference to the return check fees.
Yes, ma'am.
Do we have, now this is really, I don't expect an answer now, but do we have a high number of people writing checks anymore?
We still do get checks and we get cash too, which always surprises me, but we get both.
Okay, the cash, maybe that's something we might need to change.
Right.
To not accept cash, because we need to make sure we have accountability.
Right. We do that, and there are some practices you can do to follow up on that, but some people don't have checking accounts. And so we have to work with that. And I know Ms. Werner works with all those different things, but I was surprised at that. We have a good many people who still pay cash.
Yeah, I would think mostly elderly people.
Right, could
would
be.
the ones,
Probably are.
and that's understandable. But there should be some mechanism in place to circumvent any problems with incurring these fees.
Yes, ma'am, you're right. And, the system is set up, we want it to be self-sustaining, but it shouldn't be unfair or taking advantage of people. So you're exactly right. We'll go back through it, and I'll go back through it with Mr. Verner to make sure that's the case.
And I strongly believe this is the best way that we can do this without trying to increase the water rate. Getting the structure right now from here on out, maybe later on down the road, raise the water rates. But it wasn't being done right previous. So we sit here trying to do it right and get on track with all the unnecessary things that we got going on with the city not having money. Yes, I want everybody to have a job, but if everybody have a job and we got vendors out there that we can't pay, eventually we ain't gonna be able to pay the employees. So we ain't gonna have a city, and we ain't gonna have no employees. So we gonna have to look at everything from hindsight 2020, looking in. We can't.
2 years ago, they said that our water rate was lower. With DHEC, I recommended that we increase the water thing. I'd rather see the increase of the water, than to see people losing their job.
But
Because
yeah.
at the end of the day, somebody got to pay for it.
If-
Regardless of how, we can't like spill water. I just knocked
If
my
you-
head on the wall a while ago, a few minutes ago.
If you increase water,
There's nothing I can do with that hit on the head I just got a few minutes ago. But then as we go and move forward, we got to try to see what can best benefit the city. Not me or my buddy or my friend, but then there's employees that expected a paycheck next week. The water increase, I don't think is that enormous that anybody would have such a hardship or at least set up some type of payment to make sure the water is paid. What do? We don't increase the water bill. Where the money's gonna come from? Like you say, if council members have to give out theirs for a year or whatever.
well, and I won't elaborate on that. Most of the council done give up 2 months of pay when we donate it back to the budget, when we picked wherever money was needed in the budget.
Which you mean, the $2,000 allocated?
$2,000.
But
We don't-
that's not your actual pay.
That's not your actual pay, but that's
Right.
still,
That's money that
that's
can be
still money
used
that,
for citizens.
for the citizens.
Right, but that wasn't your
So-
actual
We know
pay.
it's not the actual pay,
Yeah.
but it's still money
But it's
that
still
we
money
can trust the
allocated
citizens
that
with.
we could still, that Ms. Muffy never got her money back whenever she wanted to do what she
Right.
wanted to do.
She actually
You
did.
get-
No,
you
I
get-
did not.
You get what I'm saying?
Yeah.
I did not.
But to go back to the rate schedule, because, of course, all citizens need to know about the rate schedule because these are the fees that you're being charged. Just want to make sure that everybody is on the same page of what we're actually possibly gonna pass.
Just those
Or vote
false
on.
narratives. That's all I'm saying.
So also on this portion here, if you can reiterate to everyone, because I think it was back in June or July or June when it was passed before, that there was a 20% late payment penalty that was going to be increased from 15% to 20%. And then there was the non-payment fee that was increased from $45, I want to say it was 50, and that came out to the public through, in their bill to let them know as of, what date was that?
Yeah, I
May
don't remember.
1st?
I remember it happening.
And I
but
think that go back to what Ms. Verna was telling us.
July 1st, I
about
think.
whenever somebody check bounce or they credit card inefficient funds, the city wasn't getting the money until late on down the road.
Well, I just
Correct.
want to reiterate back onto that to say that was paused, that was put on a pause.
that's right.
Until we came back to here, and now that is staying the same. So that's going to be a late payment penalty at 15%, not at 20%, and a non-payment fee at $45 and not at 50. Hopefully, we'll get a better calculation very soon so people will understand and know if this amended budget gets passed, that they will kind of know where their bill will be, because I know everybody's kind of, trying to figure out if they're going to get a $10 or $18 or $30 increase. We will not start this as soon as if it gets passed, it's not going to start immediately. We will have to send out a notice to all the citizens, at least a couple of weeks or so, or a month, for everyone to prepare for that change. So if you have any questions after this is the first reading, and then after the second reading, please don't hesitate to contact us. Also with the rate schedule, it's not completely complete. I don't know if any of
Did
the,
you guys talk about this? Have y'all discussed the budget? You and the mayor?
She was in on the discussions, right?
She was in on it?
And on the presentations.
on the presentation.
But right now, this right here, has everybody gone through?
No, I'm sorry, I don't have my set in front of me.
The presentation.
Somewhere there's a pile of my material laying around here.
But if we're sitting here and gonna vote on something, we need to make sure that,
We talked about
I
it.
mean, yes, I mean.
so we're just gonna vote on something that we don't have completion with?
Has things been, had there been oversight in the past? And more.
Mr. Thompson,
micromanaging in
I'm
the
just
past,
refer this to you.
We wouldn't be.
And I
where we
wanted to
are
refer it
now.
to council members as well too. We're missing the whole back page of this, of the rate schedule. We
Okay.
do not have the completion of the rate schedule to look over before we actually say we're gonna vote on it.
Okay, would you,
And I'm just saying that all of this should have been discussed prior
I thought it,
to doing this.
It was.
well, I thought we've been through everything, but leaving a back page off, I'm sure it's, somebody did it when they were making copies, but we can get you whatever.
This is so embarrassing. Extremely embarrassing. We have to go through this publicly because it has already been discussed. And whatever attempts anyone is trying to make to try to, I guess, what's the word I mean? To impress.
I'm not trying to
It's not-
impress.
It's not, I mean, it's.
I'm just making my
it's
statements, which
very.
I'm just making my statements about the budget. Yes, we did have a session,
Right.
but as we always state, that we want the public to know if there's anything that we need to let them to know.
And we
Let them
absolutely
know.
want the public to know, and my thing is, if the mayor is, and the administrator are the two people that are over, and you are the overseer of the budget, my thing is, the conversation should have been had, and the i's should have been dotted, and the t's should have been crossed before tonight.
I concur.
Well, in that case, then
And
we should actually table this
And,
then.
and we can, because this does not make any sense.
Yes,
Well,
we should
so
table
We
it.
have enough time to, we only have 15 days between this
Yes,
reading
yeah.
and the next reading. And the next reading is supposed to take place on October 14th. It's from the first reading to the second reading. So,
And then I take that back. No, it should not be tabled, because the thing is, it should have been already talked about. We knew that this was coming. Everyone on here knew that this was coming. And this is the same thing that I have been talking about conversations. There's Mr. Thompson's office, there's the mayor's office, there's an empty office. Talk. what is so hard
And
about that?
we've talked,
we've
Mr.
talked.
Thompson,
And I-
we've talked,
Right.
but when there's information that actually just came over last night to all council members of the updated information, we received it, and now looking at it more myself, I see some things that are inaccurate, and I have questions about it today.
And you have every
Well,
right, but
in
my,
that, okay, could you have not contacted the council members or some of them?
We
Because
could
don't want the
have
quorum to
canceled
be,
this meeting.
This is the time that we have to discuss. It is
But from last night
discussion.
until now, there could have been, some discussion. Or dissemination of information, accurate dissemination.
I'm not sure how to respond on this because I don't know what you're missing. You know, I know you're missing the back page of the rate schedule. Whatever else is missing, I'm not familiar with it. If you can either,
Well, there's,
you know,
well,
you can go to, all
okay, let me ask a question on what's here that we've
Please.
all seen.
right,
Going back to the positions that's being asked to be cut.
right.
We stated that there were a total of 21 positions that were cut. Well, that would be total if this
Right,
passed.
that's correct.
And they're also including, we're not including the positions that actually, people that resign since the month of April, which has been probably about 16. So adding to that, that's how many people less have. But to this fact right here, I don't see how we can actually cut the HR department. Because I mean, an organization needs human resources to fulfill so many different duties, payroll, insurance claim, medical claims. I don't see how council, because not necessarily Mr. Thompson has to say on this, we have the vote for this. So I'm talking to council. How can we,
I mean,
this is discussion right now. How can we delete a whole HR department from our budget?
But how did we get to this point?
How can we delete a whole entire HR department?
How did we get to this point? What could have been or should have been done to eliminate this? What could have been done? Or should have been done?
If I can add, okay. The HR department is one person. I recommended we take it out because I wasn't going to recommend only deleting field positions, the services of the city. And so I felt there should be admin support and admin positions included. And so I gave you two, one out of finance and one out of the city manager's office. And so that took two out. I've talked to the municipal association. They tell me they have people that can serve as consultants. The main thing that we do right now in HR is payroll. And we have a fallback on payroll that I think will be fine. You know, we may go 6 months down the road and, you know, you want to revisit this. But cuts are always difficult, always. And so in this case, I've recommended cuts that I think we could make work. But we'll explore it and find out. The other part on it is most of those 21 positions were taken from unfilled
Filled
positions.
positions. And that's
You
what I'm
recall
saying with
that
the
you
false
eliminated
narratives,
13 in the.
It's not false
in May.
narratives. It's not false narratives.
You acting like we cutting people, like
I mean,
just chopping them down, chopping
you
them down.
had
and
two
these open
employees to
positions-
speak for a lot of other employees that were filled. Okay, about the vacant ones, but what about the filled ones? And we need sufficient staff to be able to serve our citizens. And we're talking about raising their water bills are going to be increased. We need those meter techs to go out. We need the customer service in the water department. We're going to need HR, not to just do payroll, but to fulfill the other duties as well. We can't say we can be on contract with someone for HR, for human resources.
I haven't recommended.
As I have served on council, in the past 3 years, positions were created. Some were what called ghost positions that council was not
Not
made
aware.
aware of.
Spending money that council was not aware of.
Yeah, and so at any time a council member asked for accountability or records on something, never could get it, and was always,
And
I guess,
that-
thrown to the back burner. Like, who are you to ask me for this as a council member? We're
And I-
privileged to any and everything that goes on in the city, in the record.
And now we
So,
got
but
someone
that-
here that's trying to help us, and we keep tearing them down.
No, I'm not tearing
So,
anyone
okay,
down.
Let me add
I'm
on
not
the.
tearing anyone down. I'm doing my duty as mayor. I'm asking questions.
And I think that it's a positive discussion. I take it that way, and I hope you do
Right.
too. The issue of the meter readers, the customer service reps and all that, again, these are all opportunities, because the meter readers, I've always thought if I were going back into city government, that's my job. I would want to be a meter reader. It's a great job. You're out riding around, you're checking on meters, you're doing positive things outside, and so it'd be very positive. In this case, I don't expect us to cut any meter readers. I think we are probably going to end up cutting a customer service rep, but we have an opportunity because we have the finance office with a computer and essentially a cash register. We have the billing department with the same thing. And can't we coordinate those two and eliminate one position? I've talked to some of the people involved, and they think that's a possibility. All right, well, let's explore it. Let's see where it goes on that. So I'm with you. I don't want to cut anything that's going to cost us money, but cuts are hard. And so that's kind of where we are at this point. Yes, we're going to have to make some hard cuts, but these are policy decisions. And if council would like to go in a different direction, it is not my call, and I'm totally okay with it.
That's what I'm trying to have the discussion with
Population
council.
growing in Lake City over the past, let's say, go back 7, 8, 9, 10 years. We haven't had that much growth, population-wise. But positions were created, not needed, but created. More or less a buddy system, a friend, a cousin, uncle, whomever. Jobs were created for people, but yet
Bids.
so much transpired that
So-
was so,
So we definitely
That- that
understand
ended
that
up
there
not-
we were overstaffed. We definitely know we were overstaffed. We were. And
why were these
we've,
positions hired, those who were overstaffed?
we were overstaffed, and we understand that there were precautions we need to take, and we did that. So we're definitely down on that count. But to continue to do that and take away essential people, because now we're taking away 5 more police officers. We're
You know
taking
what?
away 1 code enforcement, which code enforcement has been doing their job around here. I mean, go look at CBS right now, retention pond, thanks to our code right now.
I remember.
Well, that was like that since it was built.
I remember
Then-
the city clerk used to come up to the front desk and answer questions. I remember when the fire chief go out and do the codes and all this good stuff. I mean, we had a crunch where we can barely pay bills, but we want to sustain where we is, and we can't sustain where we is right now. I mean, it's
We're gonna be overwhelming the people that are still here, that's gonna be staying behind. We're gonna be overburdening them. And you're talking about doing all these more cuts, you might as well ask for double that, because they're gonna leave. We have, well, I see you kind of struggling, but it matters to me.
Mayor, I'm not saying it doesn't matter, and I'm sorry if my body language interprets that way. That is not the case. I'm saying, yes, I understand that. I'm not personally planning on any more cuts. I think with this, we're done until you can get some mileage under this budget, and you can see, are we good or are we not? We may find that the revenues dry up and you're going to have to do it again, or you may find that this is fine or even can be reversed. But right now, this is the best guess we can make based on the data that we've got. And so that's my recommendation to you. But again, you don't have to take my recommendation. It is entirely council's prerogative. It won't even hurt my feelings.
but we could.
How many employees do we have in the,
We could have stayed in the shape that we.
how many employees do we
and then
have
when
in the finance
When
department?
the people
I
steady
think there's
calling,
5.
we can't pay bills.
It's either 5 or 6.
We
Okay,
just be in that shape, so we just keep it like it is, and then whenever the city fold as a whole, we just say, well, somebody come help us. Then it's gonna be too late.
I don't know if we had our finance specialist in the finance department
It
before?
used to have a different title.
Was it finance clerk?
It was a, gosh, I'm sorry, I'm drawing a blank on what it was, but it was a position that the person resigned. Oh, it was, on the tip of my tongue, but I can't think of it. But anyway, it was a different position. And what we really need, I've mentioned before how we have no bench strength in finance. We really need that. And so we were trying to get somebody with some accounting background that we could strengthen the finance department.
So a finance director? Or
No, a finance specialist, I think is what it's called, or accounting specialist, something along those
So
lines.
we put that in the budget, so we did add.
We didn't add. We took another existing position and changed the title to build on that strength. We haven't
Okay.
added any positions.
That's the
This
last
is
one.
stuff
they
that
take.
should, as Councilmember
Hey, Bill.
Cooper saying, this stuff should have been discussed before now. To take a proactive approach now.
And you absolutely,
is-
you made a,
after
both of you made a
the
good
fact.
point, that it needs to be communicated. But the first group of people that it really need to be communicated with before the council were the department heads. And yes, the department heads obviously had multiple meetings since you've been here, which I wasn't included in any of those meetings. But that's beside the point. But with the updated version that we have here tonight, the department heads are just receiving this last night. They really haven't been in the know of what is on the budget for their own department, in which I don't understand
I think
that.
I think it's been like that for years, because I done talked to plenty of department
Well, aren't we talking
heads.
about changing things?
That's what we're trying to do right now.
Right.
And I think.
Exactly, so the department heads should have been in the conversation.
Everybody being proactive, including you, Mayor Robinson.
Yes.
I mean, because now we're at the point where we don't have time to keep going
Back and forth,
We
stand still.
gotta get in it. We are already in the ditch. We're trying to get
Out of the ditch.
I'm sick of I don't even want our constituents going through what we're going through. And it looks bad that we can't even get it
Yes.
right for them now.
It's embarrassing.
This is so bad, just
All
because we
these
cannot even
years.
have a conversation with each other, talk as a whole, as a governing body, just so that we can pass a budget that can help bring Lake City out of the dirt, or out of the ditch, excuse me, that we're in.
That we
This is
should've-
bad.
that
This does
should-
not look good at all. And I'm tired of us going through this. It just looks bad for everybody. And the city looks bad. I'm tired of seeing us on social media. I'm tired of seeing us on the news, going through the same stuff over and over. We gotta do better. I have been preaching this since I have been on council. Let's do better, y'all.
Well,
That's all we have to do. Do better. Let's talk. These people are looking up to us. They're looking for us for the answers. They don't have the answers. They do not. They're looking for us.
So what about the
And we can't
employees?
even get- The employees, at the end of the day, Mayor, you know, and all of us know, we're gonna have to do cuts. He has been preaching this since he has been
I'm
here.
saying as far as
And I don't want anyone to lose their job.
You think
But
we
this
just
is
here
where
cut
we're
people?
at.
This is what we
we
have.
defend it now,
This
but
is
it's too
it.
late.
If
So
you could
sad,
come up with
so
something,
I
we
hear
have
it.
talked in meetings and meetings and meetings. If you could have come up with something different, I'm sure you would have.
I would, and let me just add that this is all a constantly evolving piece. The department directors got most of this information
Months
weeks
ago.
ago. But, after our last budget work session where we talked about, we did need additional cuts, I made the cuts, I conveyed it to the department directors, and there should be no surprises. If you know of someone that was surprised, let me know, because I talked to Chief Miles, I've talked with the other directors that are involved. There should be no surprises. But it does change, and it changes, if not day to day, at least week to week, and this has certainly been an example of that.
If they want,
Okay,
if they want to
we
keep
need
it
to
the
move
same,
on.
keep it the same.
Y'all talk about being in the blind before.
Excuse me.
Y'all talk about being in the blind
Thank you.
before.
Thank you.
And if you really talk to the employees, really consider them and what they've been going through, and understand them and listen to them, you would think differently right now.
I clearly understand where you're coming from, but we're gonna come to a point where whenever it's time for the direct deposit to come to their check, you think they're gonna be mad about the job now. They're gonna be mad they ain't got no money in their checking account. And we can't pay bills now. We got vendors cutting us off because we can't pay
And you're
a
absolutely
simple bill.
right.
But eventually, we ain't
You're
gonna be able to pay
absolutely
them. So
You're
I mean,
absolutely right.
I wouldn't
So how
want to
does it
set
look?
some,
At least
set someone up for failure.
Go at least.
Don't set them up for
Unfortunately, they will
failure.
be able to go to, they can find another means of income someplace else rather than keeping them
You just
here.
tore- you just
and it
tore
gets to the
them.
point where we're not able to pay them.
You just
We're
tore,
not
you just
able to
tore
pay them
people.
now. I was told
Let me
this
tell, let
morning.
me,
Excuse me.
you just dragging people along, dragging them along. It's not fair to them. It's not fair. We can't pay bills, but we gonna sit here and pretty much say we gonna carry on dead weight.
Yeah, we can't
After a
pay
while,
bills,
you-
we can't go on trips,
I mean, after a
we
while,
can't
that's
do
what it's
none of
gonna
it.
come to.
We just can't. That's just where we're at.
And everybody, we got people on the school board, we got people do this, they do it every year, cut people. But it's so hard, it's a hard decision that we have to take right now.
It's not easy.
It's not easy.
After all these years serving on the council, this is the very first time I have experienced any kind of vitriol like this. And what got it to this point, I have some ideas as to what got it to this point. But anytime you try
Our focus
to
wasn't there.
talk with people, you're met with hostility, attitude, resentment, and almost,
Priorities.
I mean, it's just, anyway, I feel bad. I really feel bad. I feel totally embarrassed about this. And to be perfectly honest, I never thought or dreamed of, ended up sitting here in this position looking as if I haven't tried.
Can
My
I ask
track
the
record would
question?
show-
Have any
would
council
show.
members have gone to any employees and actually talked with them?
That's not
Yes.
even necessary, but employees can come to the
Yes.
council members, you know, it's
Yes.
more them, you know.
Have any
bring-
council members sat and talked with the employees?
Yes.
Yeah.
Yes.
Okay, what have they stated?
Let them tell them,
Well, I'm not going, that's
you
personal.
getting, this is getting too
I've had
long. It's
employees-
getting- The more you talk,
I've had
the more it's
employees
going-
to come to my
you
office
are eroding the entire
and
meeting. We don't
They,
need to go through this any
This-
longer. This is a debate that is really going nowhere. And it's unnecessary at this point. This could have been taken care of long before now. And to spend time up here going back and forth, well, we're not getting anywhere. It's like beating a dead horse, so what good is it going to do? And, you know, I apologize to those people who are negatively impacted by this. I really do. It's painful and it really hurts. And
It's a hard, it's a very
It's tough.
hard, it's a very hard decision,
It's
but
tough.
this the road that we on because of the leadership. I mean, we not privileged.
failure in leadership.
We not
Just
privileged
go with
to
it.
everything, like say CEO, whatever. Y'all get to see this stuff every day. We get to get whatever handouts that we got. We not in there looking at the numbers or whatnot, just like Mr. Thompson them trying to do now. Every month we gonna get the fund balance and stuff. We never got this stuff. We just got pay this bill.
and
do
that's
this.
fine.
But
I'm
now
perfectly fine.
we trying to do something
with-
right, and we
Yes, I'm
stand-
perfectly fine with trying
Don't say
to
anything
improve
else. Just don't say
things.
anything else.
But
It's-
trying to improve things, yes. I am definitely for it, and that's the way we need to be, because we definitely need to work better together. We're not gonna get anywhere if we do continue to fight against each other. It's fine to be able to disagree. It's fine, yes, you did. Exact words, Mayor Pro Tem, came from Mayor Pro Tem, not from Mayor Robinson. But I second that, what she stated, and I can have respect to say I second that, what she stated, because I'm not here to take credit for anything.
Well, this is not
But
the time
what
to
I'm
go through
stating
all
is,
this
I am
now.
here in this office,
too late.
speaking to these employees, that they have been impacted. The morale has been so low for the past few months.
And
And they feel like they have no one to talk to, even the entire police department tried to talk to the council members, and that went to the left.
Excuse me, may I raise my hand?
But I'm sitting here trying my best to speak out for these employees.
Oh, Lord.
Okay, you saying the police department tried to talk to council. Give me names, dates, times, and who they tried to talk to.
You were sitting here.
You was here then.
All I'm,
Okay, do you,
yes.
you remember when they were here for that,
Yeah, I did what told you, yeah, right.
Y'all ain't,
oh,
I'm still stuck on we on the news and we acting like this.
Oh, I'm thinking.
But what
she
I'm
did it
stating here
individually.
is I'm asking
We're all
questions.
mad. They're gonna try to talk to us at a meeting?
I'm
Come
asking
on.
questions
You're
about
making
the
this-
budget.
that's not true.
I'm asking questions about the
That's not
budget because
true.
this is the time to ask it.
Too
Because
late
if
to
we
try to do
just
damage
raise our
control.
hand and say, we vote for it, everything that's in this budget, that's the way it has to go. And there are a lot of discrepancies and a lot of things that are inaccurate that department heads told me that are in their budget for their department.
I had some department heads say they didn't even know what was in their budget.
And did they not get the report?
I guess not.
I guess not. I didn't call the meetings.
And that was before Mr. Thompson got here.
Well, we're at this point now and they still don't know.
But you were
So,
here every
Mr. Thompson, you
day.
said that
I
you
mean,
guys-
except when you're
you
not,
went through
traveling out of
everything
state.
with the department heads.
I did, and I gave them a copy of their budget as
So
well.
everyone, so that is,
It's a picture being painted.
I'm not gonna put any department heads
I know, I wouldn't dare put nobody on
in place to
Front Street.
speak. Everyone that needed or wanted to speak tonight spoke tonight. All I'm asking council members is that we need to reconsider on how this budget looks for the sake of our employees and our staff and for the sake of our citizens. That's all I'm stating. I'm not the type to go back and forth because yes, it does make us look bad.
You know,
Because there are people that wants to bring businesses into Lake City, but when they see council meetings like this, which they do watch all the time, it deters them too. And we're not the only city that is going through these things. I
no.
talked to mayors
we're not.
across the
Ms. Cloud,
county,
they're going through that. That's
across,
always
I talked
the
to
cop-out.
mayors
You
across
can't
the
go by what
state,
they-
and I talked to mayors across the nation.
We're not here to hear, we're not there
And
to hear
we-
the conversation.
And we are not the only ones, so we can definitely get out of this. But we gotta work better together. And we're talking about looking at detail to detail, because before, past administration, it wasn't just on one person saying, approving anything. It was a whole governing body. So no one has the right to point the finger at one person.
Nobody pooped the
But as
Nobody's
of
pointing
right
fingers, they're
now,
just giving facts.
we need to look at this and we
If
need
you-
to
if-
reconsider.
If you didn't do what you were supposed to have done, then, accept that, move on.
she gotta cut this.
edit. But everybody wanna jump and have their own narrative to it. But the fact of the matter is, when we should have been micromanaging people, we wasn't micromanaging people.
Exactly.
Just to be the beat a dead horse down, you know. And that, we shouldn't have to sit here and say we care so much about the people. Because the people got us in this situation. And we done had meetings where people get out, run out of here, and people come to the defense for them people. And at the end of the day, them people need to be held accountable for the situation that we in. And we still not holding them people to accountable for the situation that we are in. Because I feel that maybe hiding something that we don't want nobody to know about. Because it's things that's been done now that been brought to our light that we still not having a conversation about. You know, so
Well,
I
because
mean,
we're,
let's be real about it.
and if you don't, when you come on a job.
It's a
anybody-
lot of skeletons in the closet. How I look at it.
We need to consider and listen to the people that are left here. We can't, if you want to go back and try to hang somebody that was here and left a mess, then you go to try to do that. But the ones that are still
But we didn't
here,
hold them accountable
that are
for it. We
being,
paid them
you
off.
can hold them accountable for it however you choose fit. I mean, as the way you see fit to do that. But the ones that are still here working towards to making things better,
I think we are trying to make things better, but we can't make it better if we eventually can't pay nobody to make it better. We steady going in the hole, steady going in the hole.
You're absolutely right. I mean, there needs to be logic and reason.
It's logic. It's managing money.
I mean, and a sense of responsibility.
it is managing. So we need to make sure that every line item which we didn't do
Okay.
before. We need to make sure every line item in each department is a reasonable amount
So can we come-
for
can-
each item.
You getting this stuff at the same time that we're getting it, Mayor? You just got
Yeah.
this stuff today?
Yes.
So they're not including you on the budget or anything?
I haven't been in the meetings.
So she hasn't been in any of the budget meetings or anything?
We've held one
The
additional
one
meeting with the
the
mayor.
council, yes.
We held one with the mayor in her office, and then we've briefed y'all on what, 3 different work sessions?
Yeah, we had
That's been primarily
That
it.
couldn't all-
90% of the budget does not change year to year. 90% of it does not. The dollar amounts that are exceptional do, however, and that's kind of what we cover, but if you'd like to get into each line item, we can do so.
We could go back to it, if debate,
No, we not.
no, cause I don't want nobody to say we doing nothing funny,
Mm-hmm.
cause I'll be straight up and down. We already did the audit for, in 3 years, we could go another month and hold off on the budget, just where everybody, be
can we do
on the
that?
same.
No, we need to go ahead and decide on this. Now, we had a meeting last week.
I know,
We
it's
had
just, we
budget
just
work
going in
session where
circles, we
went
going
through
in circles,
every
and
line
it's meeting after
item.
meeting.
We've had multiple meetings, we've had multiple chances to go through every single thing.
My only request is, unless we find a way to get more money quickly,
Yeah, true.
we're in trouble.
Dudes.
And I mean,
And we sit here trying to gather sides and be friends and,
You can't get
No, it's-
nothing out of nothing.
that's true.
we do. And we sit here playing.
I agree.
So I'm just asking on each sheet that we went through in the workshop,
And that's not fair.
we're all fine with what these proposed budgets state, proposed amounts state.
Workshop that I went to, any questions I had, and I asked them in the workshop. We went through everything line by line.
We went through everything line by line. It wasn't.
So just for an example, for the Lake City Recreation and Tourism, the fundraisers on this end, on their line item for fundraisers, it says $10,000. Where in fiscal year 24-25 it was 500, 25-26 it said 1,000, up to date, it says 376. Well, why put $10,000 there?
There's just
And
been
speaking to the department head that's just receiving this, they're stating that it'd be 3,500, not 10,000.
Well, that's more money. That's just like y'all put 50,000 for the
I didn't,
NLC.
you can state that, but I did not put 50,000, and I can justify that.
You asked for $50,000
No, ma'am, I did
to
not.
travel out of state.
No, ma'am.
$50,000.
No, ma'am, I did not.
Yes, you
Come on,
did.
man.
No, I did not, and I don't even speak to you, so you don't, I did not say that.
Well, I don't speak to you either.
And also
because
for-
Don't let me go why I tell you
also
why.
for
But
the-
you did ask for $50,000.
No, ma'am.
for traveling. That's exactly
No,
why
ma'am.
you're being denied traveling, because your
No,
interest
ma'am.
lies, seems to lie in
Also
traveling.
for
You're
concession
not concerned about
stand,
the employees, talk is cheap.
Also
Your
for-
actions not
also for the-
parallel with what you were saying.
excuse me,
When you finish saying, okay.
Excuse
I'll
me,
talk.
excuse me.
Okay, I'll excuse you when I
for
finish talking.
the concession stand
You
part,
asked for $50,000.
for the concession stand expense for the recreation is proposed budget at $500. Concession stand for an entire fiscal year, $500. Does that make sense? For concession stands for our recreation games?
We probably should make about $500.
Not make, that's budgeting
Oh,
for her
yeah.
to spend $500.
The fire department, they had no money in their budget. We had to give money for them to get stuff.
It appears he's not ready.
We can't even pay, hold on a second. We do so much. We do so much. The schoolhouse.
Let
me talk.
We need to be corrected.
That's all I'm saying.
The
It
school
needs
won't
to
even
be
let us play
corrected.
football at the high school right now. Why is that?
Say it
Because we
again.
don't have the money to pay them.
Say it again.
The school district.
What about
Why we can't play football at the high school field?
at the high school field?
Yeah, where we usually play. Yeah.
All the rec.
Why we can't play? Why we got to go out of
Be-
town?
because we didn't budget any money to pay the referee, the
We don't
officials.
have any money to pay.
To
We
pay
don't
the
have any money.
officials.
Are out of town.
And then for one, well, if we play football games.
Right. So let's be open.
Well, okay, let me just go on that some more. So you're saying that we should play the games at the home football field, am I right?
No, we ain't got no money. If they
discussed in the meeting last week.
if the school district loved us, they would have said, well, we see y'all going through hard times. The parents might ain't got enough money to drive out of town. We let y'all have some games here until y'all
Right.
get. That's why I'm saying, if you scratch my back, I'm gonna scratch your back. But we sitting here wanting to scratch everybody else's back, but nobody's scratching our back. We gotta. It's crunch time.
So
for
if
us.
we're trying to improve it, well, here it says lease on annex, which is for the recreation. Lease on annex is the amount of money that we put towards renting the stadium from the school district. Is where we play the football games, right? Well, here it say budgeted
and
zero.
And then we, about 2 years ago, we give X amount of dollars to work on the half football field that the kids could go down there and play on right now. But we gave like $20,000. I want to say we voted on back when William was here. But I ain't see the kids went up there and play yet. But we keep giving the school district 3 money to go over there. I went over there and watched the fella sit there and grade the field and everything.
The athletic
But
program.
we can steady give money out.
I'm just saying what's on the budget, proposed budget today. The athlete program, we budgeted 18,000 in 24-25. 28,000 was the previous budget that we're trying to amend. That's for the athlete program, but now we're proposing to put zero in it.
Mayor, if I could summarize this, I mean, you could go through and pick each one of these line items and make changes. And when we had our work sessions, we were fully prepared to do that.
That's
I don't
fine.
have
That's
any of that
fine.
right now.
If we want to
But-
go ahead and vote on this with these discrepancies,
But let me add to that.
We got to go ahead and vote because we're out of money and we need to, do we want to go bankrupt? No. So we've got to pass this budget so we can get some money into the city.
And this is just the first reading.
It is just first
it
reading.
is just the first reading, but these things need to come out at the first reading and not at the second reading.
Well, it can come, well,
And
it's
then
out
also-
now, and then that gives us a chance if there's anything that we need to
'Cause
go
it-
And I
back
hope-
do, and then we can do that.
I really
But right
hope
now,
that we
need to
do.
move on. We have wasted so much. No,
I really
won't say
hope that we
wasted
do.
time, but
Are you
things
gonna make a
to be
motion?
said, Things were said, voices were, opinions were heard, let's move forward.
If I can add, if you think about how the budget is prepared, the budget is prepared in the departments. They prepare their budget requests, they come forward, and we typically, in the office staff, will cut. But we can talk about that, and sometimes they ask for more and sometimes less. This year, you had a change in administration and a change in people, and the finance director left and all that. And so it's not quite as clean as that, but most of the departments prepared these budgets themselves.
Not-
And then
not what's
well,
updated.
I understand your
Yeah.
feeling.
Not what's
But the
updated.
reality is, most of these were prepared by the departments, and they brought them forward. But again, if you want to start from zero, we can do that as well, and it's do whatever you'd
I'm not
like.
asking to start from zero. I'm just asking for council
My thing
to
is, if
look at the
if department managers
discrepancies.
came to you and said that something was wrong, this should have, been if they came to you, you should have went to him.
I
And then
did.
he should have went to them and said, hey, what is going on? Where do we need to rectify the problem so that we can?
Anytime that I go to him about it, he said, take it up with council. So I'm taking
No,
it up
Mayor,
with council right
Mayor,
now.
that's not true. I'm going to interrupt you here.
Okay.
That is simply not true. If you pointed out inconsistencies to me, I'd deal with them. But if you want to inject your priorities over the rest of council, then that's an issue for you to discuss with council.
I said, always say, take it up with council.
That's what I mean, at the end of the day, I thought we went through all these line items. I know,
You can't do damage control now, it's too late.
it's too late.
I'm not trying to do any,
Self-indulgent,
not trying to do
self-indulgent
damage
person
control,
cannot
'cause-
do damage control at the last minute.
I didn't try to do I didn't try to do damage
But I
control.
know if she said, if the mayor said that, no, if the mayor, sir, if the mayor said that the department heads came to him, to her, excuse me, okay. Then
Okay.
she could either say, you can go to the, don't take it up with me, take it up with the city administrator. Yes, that's the chain of command, because that's who they should go to first. But they went to her, and so
The
she should
CEO.
have went to him, okay? Yes, no,
Okay.
no.
All right. We're gonna move forward. We're gonna move forward.
He's not supposed to
So-
be talking, really.
We're gonna move forward
You're not supposed to be talking.
We're gonna move forward. We're gonna move forward. So there is a lot been stated tonight. All I'm asking council is to take in consideration what was stated. No feelings whatsoever.
No, there's
I'm
a
not,
lot of feelings in it, but it's
right,
it's not for the
but,
city.
but
It's
we
not
don't
for
need to
city
make,
purposes.
we don't need to make decisions based upon that. I was just stating what I saw, discrepancies, in things that are inaccurate. If I'm wrong, please let me know before the next meeting come up for us to vote on
We
it
done had
again.
full 5 work sessions.
This does not look
Okay.
good for us in Lake City.
Yes, ma'am.
I was on YouTube. And yeah, y'all got to stop. Amen. Y'all got to stop. You're so divided. And nothing can happen in the city, right? Until y'all come together.
Where's together?
We all together.
We all
Come
together.
together. It's time to stop this. It's not about y'all. It's about God in the city. And it's time now for y'all to get it together. It's time for y'all to get it together. And stop pointing fingers. You're together. We're supposed to be together. The city cannot get together. You're the head. It was on the head all down to the city.
Point of
We're
order.
divided because you are divided.
Point of order.
I don't care what you say.
Point
He can
of
handcuff
order.
me tonight. I read about that.
Point
I'm
of
standing for
order.
the Lord. It's time for us to get it right.
Point of order.
It's time for us to get it right.
Point of order. We appreciate what you're
I
saying.
can't
Thank
be
you,
out
hearing
on
you. We hear
YouTube and I
you.
had to turn around and come here.
Point of
When are
order.
we gonna get it right, y'all?
We're trying to
We
get
got
it right.
children in the city that we gotta leave. When we know it's not about us, it's not about us, it's about God.
Yes. Yes. Yes, thank you. Yes.
Not stay in your lane. You stay in your lane, and you get it together.
I'm gonna ask, council if we want to vote on this. That's fine.
Right.
Okay. Okay. All right. I'm sorry, y'all. I think, Mr. Wilson, we're gonna go ahead and move forward. We're gonna go ahead and, vote on amended ordinance 2025.003 for first reading. All in favor, show of hands. All opposed? Thank you. City administrative reports.
Just the, let me see, just the bill. You have a bill that's attached. It's for the John T. Wyndham Insurance Company. It's for insurance for the recreation activities, $4,000.
Okay. All in favor of approval of bill item?
Yes, ma'am.
Was it 4,000? Was it 4,000?
I'm
Was it
sorry.
4,000 or 5?
It's 4,000. Yes, ma'am.
Are you sure?
It's what I saw, but it could be something different, but it,
I mean, it's up to council.
okay, right.
Well, I mean, if you know something different, let us know.
That was, okay, you stated it, I will.
I say 5.
Well, we don't have it right.
5,000, okay, good.
Thank you.
I like that. I just looked it up on my
Okay.
phone. I
All-
can't say that that's the best.
Any questions, council?
Yeah, do we have the money to pay that bill?
Do we have the money to pay it?
You always have money in and out. You can, so, yes. I would say you don't have the money not to pay the bill if we're going to move forward with recreation activities.
Any other questions? All in favor, show of hands? Any opposed? Are you good with it? Okay. So it's all five. Thank you, council members. Thank you, Mr. Thompson.
Thank you.
Now, at the end of our meeting with council member reports and mayor reports. Let's start with Councilwoman Askin.
I'd like to thank everyone for coming. It's been an emotional turmoil, lots of opinions. I do want to say that I don't like this budget. I don't think any of us like this budget. It's been a very difficult process. We've met repeatedly to try to come up with something to try to save the city. I don't think it's fair, and I don't think it's right for the citizens and the employees to have to pay for the overspending that's been happening for the past 3 years. It's not fair. It's not right. But that's where we
Absolutely
are.
right.
We have to decrease the workforce, and we have to bring in more money from water and sewer so that we do not go bankrupt. It's a hard choice, but we have to make it. We owe over $2 million to vendors. We're at risk of not being able to chlorinate our water or have our trash picked up. If our fire truck breaks down, we don't have the money to fix it. So we have to make hard choices, and that's what we're here to do, and that's what we're doing tonight. Thank you.
Thank you.
No comment. I had an accident today and hit my head, so right now my head ain't right. Oh, good. But anyhow, I thank y'all for coming and, voicing your concern. 'Cause I am truly concerned, especially when it comes to people losing their jobs and stuff like that. And I do feel that those employees that we're talking about letting go, they have done a good job. And anyhow, we wish them all the best.
Thank you.
Good evening, everyone. And again, thank you all for coming out. I think this is hard for everyone. This is hard for everyone, and I can say everything that they said, and I can stand by it, and it's truly how I feel. I am tired. I am tired of us going back and forth. As Ms. Paula did say, no, it does not look good. I have said it repeatedly. It does not, but this is where we are. Excuse me. And as far as the employees, no, I don't want anyone to lose their job. No one wants to lose their job. People have families, the holidays, and all of that is coming up. And when we have meetings, I express all of this because I don't have any kids, but they do. And I would not know how to address my child and say, Mommy don't have a job, and I can't give you the things that you need. But because of things that has happened in the city, this is where we are. And now is not the time for us to continue to point fingers. Now is the time for us to get a budget that we're going to stick with and that we're going to drive forward with. Because we cannot continue to go back and forth. We all need to work together. The mayor needs to talk to the administrator needs to talk to council, the administrator needs to talk to the employees, and all. I mean, it's just, and yes, it is a chain, well, it is a thing of following your chain of command. That's what you should do. So if anything is going on, everybody at the head should be involved so that we can get down to the bottom of stuff. And if there's something, if it was something not right with the budget from the department heads, that should have been rectified before tonight.
Yes, ma'am. Oh.
That's what should have happened, but it did not happen. And so, yes, we voted. Yes, we voted because we have to have a budget. We cannot keep going on like this. And yes, it was the first reading. And yes, we'll probably have meetings after meetings before the next meeting. But we have to do our due diligence to the community and to the constituents that voted for us. And that's what we are trying to do. That's what we are trying to do. But it takes all of us together, and it takes transparency from the department heads on what they need in the budget. It takes transparency from the administrator and from the mayor, and us as council to let you guys know what's going on. It takes us to make Lake City where it needs to get Lake City back to where it needs to be, or even not even back to where it needs to be, a greater Lake City. That's where it needs to be. And that's what we're going. Well, that's my plan. I'm sure that's what everyone up here plan is to make Lake City greater than what it was. And only thing I can ask y'all to do is support us. If you have questions, come to us. We're a phone call or email away. Yes, I'm sure, I think all of us up here work. But you can, if you got a cell phone, or if you got a computer, or I have a house, you can come by and stop by. I will talk. Well, it's fine with me. So, at the end of the day, we're here to do a job. We are trying. This is a mess that we have to clean up. We're the cleanup crew. And this is where we're at right now. So I know everyone is going to have their different opinions about everything, but at the end of the day, we are trying to make the right decisions for the community. And right now, cutting employees is just one of the things that may have to happen, or that is probably going to happen. And that's just being transparent with everybody across the board. So I just hope that you guys have a good night, continue to stay safe, and remain vigilant.
Good evening. Thank all of you for coming out, and I want you all to know that I am in no way happy or pleased about some decisions that we have to make. And until we can get better control, knowledge, understanding, and maturity from leadership, we're going to continue to go down in a deep hole. But with the ones here who are really genuinely concerned about the city, the constituents, the employees, just not here just to be saying something just to be heard. Your actions have to be parallel with what you say. And there's always two sides to every story. So when someone, go to someone and they give you their take on something, depending on who it is, you need to take that sometimes with a grain of salt. And, we're now at the gauntlet, and I say forced because of the lack of transparency and false preaching. Unfortunately, had to make these decisions, but hopefully, like we said, this is the first reading. Hopefully, some things can change. I can't make any promises because I have to rely on Mr. Thompson and the money crunchers and the clerk. So, but to the best of our ability, I say my ability, I would do what I can to try to effect change. And you know me, you know I don't make promises, and you can go no all you want. Anyway, I apologize to those people who are affected by this, but this is not the end, and there is hope somewhere, and tomorrow is a brighter day, so hopefully the ones who are impacted, because I've been in a situation like this myself, I really have, and it's not a good feeling, it's very frightening, but was able to persevere and move forward. And again, any of you, anybody, if you want to approach me, come talk to me. My doors are always open. My heart is open, and feel free to come and talk with me. But now, when you come, I'll do my very best to answer your questions. And if I can't get the answer from you, then I'll let you know. I don't know the answer, but I'll try to find a person you can get the answer from. So, thank you all for coming, and encourage more to come out. Thank you.
Thank you all for coming out. This has been one interesting, drawn-out meeting. If you guys think y'all are embarrassed sitting here and watching on YouTube, how you think I feel? Good and shame, okay? But I do not like the budget, hence on how I voted. But I just hope that we can somehow come together, work together, and stop this madness that is taking place up here every meeting. But thank you all for coming out. Hope to see you all next month. Thank you.
I want to thank everyone for coming out. I concur with Ms. Ashton, Ms. Councilman Cooper, and Ms. Muffy there on how everything's going. Whenever it come down to the day-to-day operation of the city, and we can't focus on the aspects of the needs of the citizens, it become a problem. And we gotta take that into consideration when it come down to money, when it come down to fire trucks, when it come down to police protection, when it come down to trash pickup, and when it come down to our drinking water. And we might not get chlorine to be able to drink our water. We might have a fire truck tell. We might have a police car breakdown, this and that. And the crunch that we are in, we as council, as mayor, as city administrator, we gotta take drastic steps to get us back on track where we need to be. Yes, we don't wanna see no one lose their job. Yes, we don't wanna see no one water rates go up. But we gonna have to take some type of action to make sure that we keep the city afloat. Cause the road that we headed down, we gonna be in trouble, in big trouble. And it's not fair to keep digging ourselves in the hole, the pity party, to make ourselves feel good that we are helping someone whenever we are tearing them down. And we tearing our city down at the same time. You know, several people I talked to, just be straight up, be open with me. If it's not looking good, I don't want nobody to lose their job around Christmas time. We was planning this months ago. I would want my boss man or my supervisor to say, hey, at this point in time, you may need to look for you another job. Christmas coming up. But to sit there and just tour people around, no, we can't do that. We got to be open and transparent with people. Everybody see. I hope you handle your bills around your house better than we handle the bills. Well, I'm not say we as a whole better than we handle the city bills. You get what I'm saying? After a while, we have to say you have to let go. Some things you have to let go. You know, and it's not fair for us just to sit here and just tear and know we need a budget. But we just gonna sit here and hold on until we just get to a road where no end. And it's not gonna be fair on nobody. And it's the God honest truth. And how my father taught me, just don't get on one side of the road and ride. You gotta ride both sides of the road. You see everything from all angles. Don't have your blinders on. We are in a tremendous mess. And I don't want to see nobody suffer. But you're gonna have to give to get a little way in life. I mean, it's just, and it's not fair. And me personally, we should have had SLED, we should have had everybody here trying to figure out what's going on. And maybe we wouldn't have to do this. We could have given the citizens a sense of a feeling, well, this person did this person did this. And I'm to the point now where I feel like calling SLED because all the turmoil that we getting, because something's not right. You get what I'm saying? It got me deeply in my heart saying something's not right. Something's not right. You know, and it's just it's a lot. It's a lot to take in. It's a lot to take in, and for us to sit here and can't say, well, we need to go down this road or we need to stay on this road. Eventually, we just gonna have to get on this road, and we gonna have to take it and see where it leads us to. And it's just hard. And that was my thing when I got on council. Didn't want to see any taxes go up, water rates go up, any of that. And we did our fair share. Try not to let the taxes and the water rates go up. We try to restructure it and get it back on track because we steady finding discrepancies in how the billing process was done. And it wasn't in everyone's favor. If you get where I'm coming from, it wasn't in everyone's favor. So if we sit here trying to get things together, let's get it together and move in the right way. Yeah, this is a debate here. We are elected officials. All of us think different. You get what I'm saying? We all may not go on the same path, but eventually we all gonna have to go down there and see where the end gonna be. Maybe they was right, maybe they was wrong. You get what I'm saying? Maybe some people was throwing red flags and we just was saying, well, we gonna ride on this van until the tires blow off. And I think some people had rode that van until the tires blowed off. And now we don't know if we need to jump off that van and get on the van that the people was throwing the flags. But I'm gonna leave it as that. I thank everybody for coming, and we're gonna leave it alone, and we have a good night.
I thank everyone for coming tonight. I appreciate everyone, the employees, everyone that spoke at public comment for the public hearing. I appreciate everyone putting in their input, Mr. Thompson, council members, this is a team effort. This is not one person show, one woman, one man show, one organization, one entity. It's going to have to take everyone to, for one, be respectful to the next person. To be respectful to the next person. And we first need to listen, and we need to communicate. And if we don't do that, we're going to stay right where we are. I'm very hopeful, very hopeful. I can see the light. I have to stay positive. I do call myself a leader. And so with the leader, you have to be positive. You have to be hopeful for your organization. And that I am. Some may say, oh, I'm in a dreamland because things are not where it needs to be or that it needs to be. And a lot of things in the past 3 years, as everybody's saying, in the past 3 years, contribute to a lot of things that actually happened for decades. So a lot of this stuff has been inherited from the next person to the next person to the next person. So we need to sit here and figure out the best way that we can agree to disagree and to work better together for this community that we all love so dearly. And I would never do anything. I'm not a perfect person. I do make mistakes. But I would never do anything to be detrimental to this city, my hometown where I grew up, and where God positioned me, not man, but God positioned me to be right here where I'm sitting. We just really have to respect each other. None of us, this is terrible. It's bad. Where we at? And there's not one person that got us here, not two people, not a department, not an organization. Because everybody had to sit up here and make and vote. Everybody had to be in the meetings and make decisions. Not just in 2025, not just in 2023, not just in 1997, all along. And it is very embarrassing. And I hate it, especially for our employees. I do. Especially for our employees, because they really feel like they are not being heard whatsoever. They're not being heard. And they're the ones that's being mostly impacted and affected with all of this, all these decisions. They're the first people to be impacted with the decisions that we make up here. And the way they're impacted, then it trickles down to the city, the citizens. So we really have to think things through and not let things be personal. And if you want to say that I need to talk to myself and speak to myself, I am speaking to Yamika Robinson as well. Not Mayor, Yamika Robinson, because that's just a title. Even I wasn't in this position when I ran the first time in 2018 and didn't win. I came back here to this podium, congratulated Mayor Anderson, and still told everybody in here I would do anything possible that I can to still continue to work for the city of Lake City. That's the respect I had for him when I was at that point and when I actually got in 2020 as council. There is a chain of command, and we have to respect that with the form of government that we're in. No matter if it's me or anybody else, this is a mayor form of government. And that has to be respected. Until that changes, it is what it is. There's a limit to how far a council person can go with personnel matters. Yes, we sit and we talk about the budget and we approve the budget on how we want to see the budget be for our organization. But when it goes beyond that, we have limits, we have limitations, we have boundaries, and we have to respect that.
You're absolutely right. Can I cut you off real quick? You're absolutely right. You have to respect boundaries. But when you have, because I already know what you're talking about. Whenever you have an employee,
I'm not talking about anything
but if
specifically.
you have an employee that is brought in by council, and then if they have a problem, and if they come to council because they don't feel that they are they don't feel that they can be secure in a room with you or someone else, then yes, that's why 2 council members came.
Okay.
No, and I'm talking now. Thank you.
Okay. Okay.
Chief, you can go ahead and escort him.
No. This is it. No. No. So, everyone, I'm sorry. We already state that we need to get off of this. We already stated that we need to do better. No, sir,
Chief,
sir,
Chief,
sir, sir, sir. I'm sorry, sir.
I know what it means to have
Sir.
a chain of command.
Okay, and I do
Sir.
too. Did the same thing.
Also,
I'm sorry, sir.
this is terrible. Truly terrible.
We're gonna go ahead and adjourn. We're gonna go ahead and adjourn. Can I get a motion to adjourn? Second? Okay. All in favor, show of hands. Thank you.
I'm glad it's over. Hey, listen to what I got to say too. Everybody, because you don't never stay as much. But one thing about it is, we need to come together. And everybody, you got to understand, every month when a bill was going up, y'all stood up and y'all approved the bill. Y'all approved to pay the bill. So if you approve it, you down on with it. They're the last one to understand what your change of government. I ran companies, I understand. You need to know what you're talking about. Instead of coming to collect $1100